Herndon Davis, your mortgage broker with mortgagerealestateservices.com. In today's video, I want to talk about four steps in becoming a real estate developer. Now, the term real estate developer or real estate development has many different connotations for many different people. For me, I break it down to three basic buckets, especially for the beginner. There's residential, commercial, and construction. Under the residential, there are two strategies. There's the buy and hold strategy. Basically, you're buying a house, a duplex, a fourplex, and you are renting them out for passive income. Your tenants are individuals, and they pay you rent every month. Okay. Then there's the fix and flip strategy, where you go in community, buy a house, hopefully for cheap, in a nice, very nice neighborhood, and you fix it up, and you sell it at market value, and you make a lot of profit at the end. All right, just like they do on HGTV. So that's a fix and flip strategy under the residential bucket. Now, under the commercial bucket, the same strategy applies, except your tenants are not individuals; they are small businesses, or they may be franchise companies, national franchise companies, who rent space from you in your shopping center in your community. All right, same thing applies. Passive income strategy, buy and hold, or you can actually go in and buy a shopping center that's dilapidated in your neighborhood somewhere, fix it up, put in tenants, and then resell it to a real estate investor who's happy to see that you've done all the hard work, you've done all the heavy lifting, and they will pay you a premium for fixing up the shopping center and getting the tenants in there, and they will pay you a premium for doing that, and you flip it at the end. All right, same strategy applies under this bucket, buy and hold and fix and flip, but just using commercial tenants. And the third bucket really deals with construction, building something from the ground up. Okay, so let's say you own a piece of land, free and clear. I've got a program in my arsenal that will pay for 100% of the construction costs for you to build a project there. Now, that project could be residential, it could be commercial. Either way, it doesn't matter. Whichever one you think will make you the most money, you build it, and we will pay 100% of the construction costs. All right, so ground up construction. This allows you people who have a vision, who are creative, to build your own individual thing and stamp your brand, stamp your artistic vision on whatever it is you're building for that community. So that's a really exciting piece of that. Now, the next step you want to go to, after you defined what type of developer you're going to be in the beginning, you need to build your team. I should be your number one person that you recruit. I am a mortgage broker, which means that I match people and businesses with the right type of financing, the right type of mortgages to fit their goals and aspirations. All right, so that means I'm also going to be scrutinizing everything about your package, everything about your team, your other team members, making sure that you're picking the right pieces of property, making sure that you're really making them the greatest amount of money possible for your project. So I'm going to be the one that you're going to hand that mantle to. All right. The next person you should be recruiting is a really good real estate agent. Make sure this person is very fluent and understands, let's say, the commercial market or the investment market of residential properties, or understands the construction market, because if you're looking to build on a plot of land, you need to make sure you're in the right neighborhood, the right areas of town, make sure it's facing the right street, things of that nature. And that's a whole different science. You know, whole people spend their entire careers just in that. And so you need a real estate agent who's really focused on that. So FYI, if you are in the state of Texas, in addition to me being a licensed loan officer and a mortgage broker, I'm also a licensed real estate agent. And if you happen to live in the greater Houston area, I can also help you with that as a real estate agent as well. Okay, so building your team is really important. The third person you need to be recruiting heavily is going to be your contractor. This is a very crucial role to fill. Because a contractor can literally make or break your budget, literally, in terms of building or rehabbing your property. It's really best to actually get referrals from people who are already in the business, who can, say this person is really good in terms of timelines or costs. This person is great, but XYZ. The best way to get great referrals is to start going to local real estate mixers in your hometown or city. They could be real estate mixers, it could be contractor, architectural mixers, it could be mixers dealing with people flipping and buying property. It doesn't matter. You just get in that flow and you start, talking to people. You will get business cards. People will fly, throw your business cards in your direction. You don't have to worry about working too hard to get contacts. Your biggest problem is going to be actually sifting through the pile and making sure you get the right person, talking to them, listening to their referrals, and also looking at their past works and looking what they've done. So that's a really crucial part of finding the right contractor. Another thing about finding the right contractor is that you make sure that person has an in-house staff, mostly of people who can do most of the work on your project. Because what you don't want is someone who's just simply going to go out and farm out or sub every piece of the job to everyone else. When that happens, you're going to get a lot of quotes, and then every person is going to have the cost to do the job, plus the extra hefty 25-30% on top, okay? And so your budget gets escalated a lot higher than it really could. If you've got someone who's a contractor who has a lot of in-house staff there already, he can really negotiate on the cost. He can come down a bit. You can negotiate with him a lot because he already has people there who are working on other jobs. Paychecks are coming in anyhow, so he can really subsidize to some degree the costs, and your costs really can come down. So make sure someone has a good bit of the people already in-house, not just subbing it out, because you could do that yourself, okay? Right? Because you're paying someone to do it, so make sure they're going to do it right. Now, the next step is to really create your budget. Again, that is the work of yourself and the contractor. I mean, you create your budget. Are you creating it to sell at market value, or are you creating it to just rent? Okay, there's a different budget. If you're fixing up a house or a fourplex just for rent, it's totally different from fixing up a fourplex or a house to sell. The whole market value changes. The amount of fixtures you put in changes. The type fixtures you put in a house to flip it versus to rent it changes. Your budget can fluctuate up and down, okay? So once you define that with your contractor, you really need to figure out, okay, now where is my down payment? Where are my liquid costs coming from? Because we're gonna I can finance anywhere from 70 to 85% of your costs and 100% of your construction costs, okay? But that comes with caveats, all right? The more I finance through my lenders, the higher the interest rate you're going to be charged. So it's really best to have at least 25% to 30%, a good solid 30% already in your bank account. Now, I know that sounds like a lot of money, but it really isn't, because if you think about it, if you can partner with people, if you have equity in your own home that you already own already, use that equity, use your own 401k savings, and then combine that with a partner that you trust, a business partner, and you can combine your resources together on the very first project, okay? I'm not saying do this on every project, but once you get your very first project off the ground, you make your money, you do it again, and then you don't have to, you can pay yourself back, okay? Pay back the 401k, pay back the equity in your home, and then you're smooth sailing from there. You get experience under your belt, and your interest rates will fall eventually because you've got experience under your belt and you've also been able to save money from your previous flips. Now, if you're going to go the conventional route, the down payment isn't as much. You may put down as little as 3 to 5 to 10%, depending on the property, depending on the credit, depending on your financials, depending on how much money is coming in. So working in the conventional lending space is a little bit different than working in the non-conventional lending space. And I'll do a video about that pretty soon. But FYI, I'm a broker to both the conventional and the non-conventional side. So if you want a lower interest rate, less money down, conventional lending is best for investment properties, but your credit score is going to have to be a whole lot higher, and your personal debt to income ratio is going to have to be a whole lot lower, and you're going to have to show a lot more income coming in. So conventional is great to have for conventional funding is great to have for investment properties, but most people tend to go the non-conventional route because the requirements are less on the documentation side, although the interest rate is higher and the down payment is higher. You can make that up depending on how much you flip and also the value of the rental income coming in. Now, the final step in really becoming a real estate developer is really defining your business structure. Are you doing this under your own personal name, or are you doing this under a business name or LLC? It seems like a no-brainer to most people that you basically, if you're going to be doing this full-time as a developer, you would do this under a company name. But not the case. I know of an individual who owns like over 100 plus properties, all in his name, okay? And that has a lot of tax consequences. And, whatever works for that person, works for that person. So I would really encourage you to basically consult an accountant when you're creating your, a tax accountant actually, when you're creating your company or when you're deciding to buy properties and flip in your own name. Because you've got to pay taxes, of course, and you've got to make sure that you're in a structure that works best for you. If you're in partnership with another person, you've really got to make sure that legal structure works best for you all, okay? So those are the 4 steps to becoming a real estate developer. You got to first define what you want to do, which strategy do you want to do. You also have to build your team of great people, including myself. And then you also have to define the budget. What is it? And where's your down payment coming from? And what liquid resources and reserves do you have already? Okay. And then finally, you have to define what business structure that you need for your projects. What works best for you? So email me. Let me know what you think at herndon@mortgagerealestateservices.com. Again, that's herndon@mortgagerealestateservices.com. And you can also call me at area code 832-457-8951. Area code 832-457-8951.